Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to this channel, my name's Rohan, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down the upcoming Bellator welterweight world championship fight between Douglas Lima and Yaroslav Amosov. Now, this is a very, very intriguing fight for me. It's one of the very, very best fights that can be made at welterweight, regardless of promotion. I think Douglas Lima is one of the best welterweights in the world, and I think if you was to match him up with Kamaru Usman, you would have a very close, intriguing, difficult fight for both men. And Yaroslav Amosov is an undefeated Russian prospect, a three-time Sambo world champion, and he's a guy who's young, in his prime, and a guy that I think can do it all. He's a very dangerous fighter, and this is just incredibly exciting. So this is a fight that, in my opinion, the winner of this could be the #2 welterweight in the world if you was to combine all the rankings, all the welterweights all around the world. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be saying, well, Colby Covington will beat these guys. That's not necessarily the case just because they fight in Bellator. And I've always been a proponent of looking at the wider picture of mixed martial arts. I think that mixed martial arts outside of the UFC product is absolutely incredible as well, and I'm a huge UFC fan. It's just I'm an even bigger mixed martial arts fan, and there's so much great stuff going on around the world. This is a fight that we should definitely be paying attention to, one of the biggest fights of the weekend, regardless of the UFC card that's going on as well. Anyways, without further ado, let me go get into this and let's break this one down. Douglas Lima, I believe he's now a three-time Bellator welterweight world champion and now tournament winner as well, is coming off his loss to Heard Mousasi and comes into this fight with a professional record of 32 wins and 8 losses. Yaroslav Amosov, as I mentioned, is undefeated in his campaign as a mixed martial artist with an incredible 25-0 unbeaten record, which in mixed martial arts is absolutely unheard of, and he's fought a lot of great talent as well. Douglas Lima is 33 years old, and that makes him 6 years older than the 27-year-old Amosov. Now, at 33 years old, he's still in his physical prime. He still looks great. He hasn't shown no telltale signs of slowing down, so I don't think that age is going to be an issue in this fight. But, you know, in coming years, that could be something that we start to note. Amosov is obviously in his physical prime. Douglas Lima stands at 6'1", which makes him a little bit taller than the 5'11" Yaroslav Amosov, and Douglas Lima has a 74.5-inch reach advantage, which actually gives Amosov a half-inch reach advantage, but because of the height, that will kind of work itself out and it'll be pretty even. To describe their styles, Douglas Lima is a Muay Thai fighter. He shines with his kicks. He has very, very dangerous kicks. He's got good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as you would expect from a Brazilian fighter. Not to stereotype or nothing, but Brazilians tend to have good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then, of course, where I think he really shines is in his stand-up. He's got big power in his hands, and he's got very, very lethal kicks, in particular his leg kicks. With Amosov, I think he's an all-round fighter. As I mentioned, he's a three-time Sambo world champion. I think he can grapple. He showed that in his fight with Logan Storley, a multiple-time Division 1 All-American wrestler. And he's got really good stand-up as well. And he's got good power in his hands. He can do it all. I really like him on the feet, though. I think he's got really good boxing. I think he's got good movement. And I think his conditioning is great as well. So when you're looking at his style, he's kind of a bit more well-rounded than Lima, in my opinion. But yeah, there's no one thing that shines for me for him. The key wins. So Douglas Lima has an incredible resume. I was having a look at his resume a few weeks ago, just out of interest. I think it was around the time of Kamaru Usman's fight, and I was actually pretty blown away by it. So he's beaten the likes of Rory McDonald, which is a great win, Andrei Koreshkov twice. He's the only person to have beaten Michael Venom Page. He's beaten Ben Saunders, you know, the Killer Bee himself. He's beaten him. Paul Semtex Daly, that's a great win. And of course, he's been around for a long time, and he's fought a lot of great fighters, and he's been Lawrence Larkin. He's been around for a long time, and he's done a lot of great stuff in the welterweight campaign, and he's a guy that should be regarded as one of the very top welterweights of the world, and he certainly is. Amosov has a pretty good resume himself. That win over Logan Storley that I just mentioned, he's of course beaten the likes of Eric Silver as well, Ed Ruth, an all-American wrestler in his own right, and a very talented fighter. And David Rickles, you know, Bellator standout and former UFC standout as well, and Gerald Harris. That's a great win. The issue for Douglas Lima coming into this fight that's going to stand out to me is wrestling. It definitely is something going to be tested after his fight with Heard Mousasi, and you know, Amosov being the Sambo specialist that he is, he's definitely going to look to wrestle and get in on those legs and put Lima on his back. And for Amosov, I think the biggest issue that is going to be coming into this fight, now not to say that he's a perfect fighter, but for me his biggest issue is that he's untested. He hasn't been in a war with the likes of Douglas Lima, who's just going to batter him. Even in fights where Douglas Lima loses, people don't walk away the same. sometimes they don't walk away at all. Heard Mousasi had a big old hematoma on his leg after the win. When Rory Mack beat Lima, he had a big old hematoma on his leg. So Douglas Lima is a nasty opponent to fight, and he's going to mash you up no matter whether you win or lose. So it's going to be interesting to see how Amosov deals with that, and I think that's going to be a really, really pivotal part of how this fight plays out. The X factor for Lima, in my opinion, is going to be his kicks and the power in his hands, and the X factor for Amosov is going to be his all-round game. I think he's going to be able to mix it up and use a mixed bag of mixed martial arts in this fight. It's going to be incredible to see how the fight plays out. Let's get into the prediction. I think that this fight, for a large part, is going to be handled in a clinch, because I think Amosov is going to be trying to take this fight down. He's going to be pushing to get the takedown. On the feet, I think there's going to be a lot of exchanging. I don't think Amosov is going to feel lost on the feet. I just feel like he's going to struggle on the feet when he's getting his legs smashed in repeatedly by a berserker like Douglas Lima. I think Douglas Lima is going to have been smart enough in his preparation to understand that, though, and after his fights with Heard Mousasi, and practically all his fights now, they're all going to go one way. His opponents are going to try to put him on his back, so I think he's going to have prepared well, and he's one of the best, if not the best, welterweights on earth, and I think he's going to prepare himself effectively. So I think he's going to be able to give himself distance. I think what's going to happen is, earlier on, as Amosov is fresh and you know, they're raging, adrenaline pumping, he's going to be able to hold Lima against the cage. He's going to be able to do some damage on the feet. He's going to be able to utilize movement and to stay away from the dangerous leg kicks. But as the fight wears on, the experience and the conditioning of Lima is going to start to come through, especially a guy who's been tested so many times. We're going to see those leg kicks that can start to pile up into the middle rounds, and we're going to see those punches, they're going to start to connect a bit better, and we're going to see Amosov start to kind of back up a bit more. He's going to start to feel a lot of issues, and we're going to start to see the fight get a lot more interesting. I think as we get towards the end of the fight, I think Amosov's not going to be able to get the takedowns that he needs. I think Lima's going to have done a lot of damage, and I think actually what we're looking at is a late round 4, early round 5 stoppage and a title defense for Douglas Lima, which would be an incredible feat at this point, especially when you look at his resume as a whole. That's going to be incredible, and I think Amosov is going to do himself proud, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Amosov come out there and pull it off, because he's such a talented fighter with such an incredible resume already. He's also got tons of experience in the combat sambo side of things that nothing surprises me about Amosov. He's absolutely exceptional, but I think I'm going to go with Douglas Lima. So 5 pounds for my prediction. I think Douglas Lima gets this done, and that sets up the rematch with MVP, and I think that should be a great one as well. Maybe even a rematch with Paul Daly. Loads of great options for him at Bellator, even if he sticks around. Let's say he has I don't know how many fights he's got left on his contract, but ideal scenario for me would be if he wins this fight, then fights one more fight, wins that, then we can see him maybe test himself in waters elsewhere while he's still young enough to make a mark. But that's how I see this fight going. If you're new here, remember to like, subscribe, comment below with your thoughts on the fight. If you liked the video, let me know. If you think it sucked and you think that I've done a terrible job of breaking this down, let me know. A lot of you do that already anyways. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'm Rohan, and this is Mindful Combat.